great thing about Jisto is it's agnostic to whatever platform it's running on. So, we don't care if it's a private cloud, if it's a public cloud, if it's an on-prem data center, or any hybrid combination of all these resources. So Jisto operates the same no matter where it's on. The other nice thing about this is, we're not just going after kind of the enterprise customers that can use the compute cycles. We can actually use the infrastructure. We can go back to the infrastructure and optimize how the infrastructure, those guys that do infrastructure as a service, deliver their servers to these customers. So we can actually optimize from both sides. So one kind of anecdote around this is imagine you're a pharma company. There's a lot in this area, and you have a model where you have a private data center where some jobs are getting done, and when it goes beyond a certain peak of utilization, you burst out to the public cloud, take advantage of kind of the elastic nature of Amazon and so forth. A lot of times what happens is these farmers burst out, and some of these companies burst out to a huge extent. I mean, like opening up hundreds of thousands of nodes in Amazon. And what happens is they open up all these nodes, they do like 5 minutes of processing, and they get the result back. But with the Amazon model, they've actually paid for an hour's worth of compute, even though they're using the 5 minutes worth. So there's that 55 minutes that's just sitting there completely idle, whether or not the company uses it. So there's a huge waste that's going on in the public cloud. So imagine if we go back to the infrastructure side, to the Amazons and the private cloud guys, and we're able to re-provision those resources that people aren't using, but have already provisioned the servers around, and have somebody else be able to use it. So somebody opens up 100,000 nodes, they use 5 minutes of that workload, we could do 55 minutes times 100,000, be able to have somebody else use those resources. So the way cloud providers would benefit from this, and some of the discussions that we had with these guys, with the private cloud guys, for example, what they would want to do is, they have these customers, that customers buy into a lot of infrastructure, but on average the utilization is typically really low. So what they can do is, they can say, okay, we'll give you a slightly cheaper service, but we'll take your idle capacity and offer it to other customers that can actually benefit from it. And whenever you actually need those resources back, whenever you have some peak workload and you really need them back, you have first priority and you get to keep them. And this is a little bit similar to what Amazon does right now with the spot market, right? So Amazon has all these, virtual machines offered to customers, and if the demand is really low at some particular point, and there's a lot of, unused virtual machines out there, Amazon puts them out in the spot market, right, at a lower rate, and people buy into it because it's cheaper. So it's kind of the same premise, except with a much, much smaller granularity of, instead of looking at, re-provisioning a full server to do this, we can re-provision like cycles out of a server, down to the granularity of even a single core on a single server.